Hey, there we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Scale with Strategy with myself, April Beach. And today we are talking about how to scale your SME, expert, knowledge-based business through content licensing. So we're going to dive into that here in a second. And my friend, Liz.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth McFadden, and I'm the CEO and Director of Brand Strategy here at Novella Brand House.
Awesome. And so every single week, we bring you a very, very quick, maximum 15-minute strategy that you can apply in your business right away. And so Elizabeth and I rotate the titles and the themes and the teaching of this show. But basically, we want you to come in, binge, take what you need, and get out of here and go implement it in your business. And so everything we talk about is giving you something in a bite-sized piece. But it's also trusted information. Elizabeth and I collectively have been in business for over 50 years, entrepreneurs collectively. And so we are here to, we kind of mix this up.
Yeah, because we're not 50. I mean,
because we're not 50, but collectively 50,
right?
I mean, I've been coaching businesses for 27 years, doing brand strategy for how
25.
Long? Yeah, see? So 52 years, y'all. Okay. All right. So today we are talking about a super secret that really shouldn't be secret, which is why I just try to talk about it so much. And it's about content licensing. And content licensing really is a secret weapon to take your knowledge-based business, your service-based business, take your methods and your processes that you've worked so hard to do, and you've worked so hard to build in your own business, and actually give another business permission to use them. That's what content licensing is, and it can make you a lot of money. What's so amazing about it is by licensing your training, your process, your course, your intellectual property of any capacity, whether it is a methodology, systems you have within your business. When you do that, when you've worked hard to do this and you allow another business to rent them, licensing, another word for licensing is like renting. You aren't selling it. They don't own it. It's still yours. It's all your genius. It will always be your genius, but they pay you a pretty penny because you're saving them time, or you're augmenting services that they want to improve. You're helping save them money. You're helping to level up their brand. And in the same sense, we are leveling up your brand as well. So I wanted to kind of dive in today and go back. Every quarter, I try to do this introductory training, like what is licensing? I think a lot of people are really familiar with licensing as far as photography, right? Mm-hmm. So you can license a photograph to use in stock photo, or you can license audio as a podcast host, right? I license audio that I can use in the intro, this kind of house beats in the intro of my podcast. Those things are really common. But what people don't think about is your intellectual property, your trainings, your courses, your processes that you can license. And it is seriously the best kept secret. And that's why I'm here today. And that's why we're talking about it today. When did you first become familiar with licensing, Liz?
Mm-hmm. Gosh, probably, well, to be honest, when you were really kind of first doing it years and years ago.
Yeah.
Right. When big companies came to you and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing. Can we license that?" Right. And so that was 10 years ago, at least. Longer than that. Yeah.
It was 2009. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about how one gets into licensing. That's a great intro.
But I think what it is, it's like, just like you were saying, like we've all heard of this concept.
Right.
But it's hard to think about what you could, it's like, well, but what could I license from my business? Right. So one of the key things you do when you're scaling your business or planning to do that or putting a strategy around it is you take stock of, you do like an audit of all your assets you have, including your IP. So that's kind of where it could start, where you could start to see some ideas. But yeah, April, but then like, how do you do it? That's
right. Well, when I first started licensing, I had 8 online courses back in 2009, and I was approached by multiple different corporations, but also small businesses and independent entrepreneurs that wanted to use my courses in their business. So that's exactly right. So you really get started with it by developing your own courses, your own trainings, your own intellectual property. And what happens, and exactly like you were saying, when we go through the process of scaling our business, one of the very first things we do is that asset asset inventory, right? And many of you guys who are coaches, consultants, experts, speakers, subject matter experts, niche service experts, there are so many things that you have created that you might still be using, but there's a lot of them I'm banking that you actually are not utilizing in your business. Trainings you developed, video series you created, courses you created way back when, and maybe your company outgrew them. Those are the first places we look and we say, hey, listen, what are you sitting on? Because people don't realize literally the value of all the things that they've created in the past that other companies will pay them for in order to utilize those trainings and implement those trainings in their business. And that's exactly what licensing is. And when I first started with this, I had no clue what I was doing. And I still, as far as I know, am the only coach and strategist that teaches how to package your material for licensing. Nobody was there, 14 years ago to teach me. Nobody's still there. And so I love working with businesses and helping them unpack what they could license and package it up and price it to license it. And, there's so many different licensing strategists out there that are talking about, trademark licensing, it's just huge licensing that is totally different than taking our intellectual property, taking our content that we created and licensing it. And it really is this hidden gem. And so the question is how do you do it, right? Well, first of all, I want to encourage you guys to look into your assets, look into the things that you're using, the methods, the processes, the frameworks, the trainings. It doesn't even matter how big they are. The truth is, when I work with clients and we are in the process of licensing their program to companies, almost, I would say 8 out of 10 times, the company will come back and say, you know what, this is too big. Can we just have 2 modules? Do we need all 8? They really want consolidated resources. They don't want necessarily these huge, massive things that we created, these huge massive courses we created years ago. Although those are being licensed for a lot of money as well to the right licensee. But the reality is just stopping and taking an inventory of what you guys have and starting there. And there are 3 types of content. We've talked about this on another live stream. There's 3 types of content that companies actually line up to license. The first one is that entry point. It's content that fills any one of their distribution channels. So these could be articles that you've written, maybe you don't even use anymore. Maybe you never published them on a blog, or maybe you never submitted them to that online magazine where you wrote that article for. There's just so much content. Another company would really like to utilize that article and perhaps put it into their newsletter, add it to their website, add it to their blog. So anything that fills any distribution channels. It can be videos as well. So if you are a subject matter expert on something and you have a little video series about how to, well, there are other companies out there that would love to license your videos to fill up their social media channels, because that helps them to provide even more amazing content. So that first area is anything that fills any distribution channel. And that, frankly, though, is the least amount of money that you're going to make on licensing. So we're going to go, 1, 2, 3. It's the smallest transactional charge for that, but it's still really valuable. And many of you guys are sitting on a ton of those how-to amazing videos. Mm-hmm. The second area that companies really look for content to license are programs that augment current programs they have. So if they already have a program or a training on something, but maybe they're missing a certain part of it. Maybe they're a huge marketing agency and they want to help their clients to know how to curate great content for them to push out and distribute. But their clients really lack at video confidence, and you're a video confidence coach. So they would want to, include your video confidence training in something that they could equip their clients with so that their clients can curate better content so that they can actually market it. Another great example, and these are real examples of clients that I have worked with in the past for licensing, is a client who works with publishing houses, and she is an author brand strategist. So she works with authors to develop their personal brand, and the publisher really wants the author to have a strong personal brand, but that isn't quite their area of expertise. And so we've worked on getting her program into publishers to be distributed to the authors they're working with. So it's another way of just adding content to something that a company is already doing and just really augmenting that.
Right.
So
they want your expertise, your thought leadership or something. Yeah.
Right. Because no company out there, and you and I are, exclusive of this, like no company is actually an expert in everything,
right.
Right. And so it's really, really, really valuable, and it's really helpful for them. And then you are going, we're not talking money here specifically because there's a big formula to figure out how much you can make on this, but that is really the second level of value that you can receive for a licensing agreement. And then the third level is what I call completes. And that's where we license complete trainings, complete programs, sometimes with having the entrepreneur come in and even do a keynote to an organization over, their yearly summit or whatever it is that they do, maybe even some consulting to their teams or C-suite executives as well, on top of them taking your entire course, your entire program, and implementing it for their employees or for employee benefits. A lot of things: mindfulness, health, wellness, even communication programs, how to communicate well with your family and spouse. Companies are licensing those programs because it affects the way that their employees are showing up to work. And so it doesn't even have to be like a skill program. Those lifestyle programs are huge.
Yeah. And another thing, especially for smaller organizations that can't afford to bring in like leadership coaches to their mid-management. I mean, if you're a leader, if you do step in the leadership arena, a huge opportunity, because employees want that training.
They do. Yeah, they really, really do. And I'm currently working with a client. She's absolutely amazing. And I can't drop her name here because I didn't ask permission ahead of time. But her area of expertise is ADHD and neurodivergency and executive functioning. And her program is specifically designed to help companies identify those strengths and bring those strengths out in their employees and to help their employees, really function at the highest level within that organization and feel appreciated. And so, I mean, really, the sky is the limit. I get very excited about this. If you're listening to this, we have a really powerful resource, frankly, because most people haven't dove into this before. I have a 40-minute video. It's Licensing 101. It breaks out the 4 different ways that you guys can license your content. And it even gives you like steps to workshop and identify. And the whole entire purpose of this video is not me selling to you. It's getting you to the starting line where you can think about whether or not this is a good use for your company. And so you guys can actually check out that video by going to license, the number 2, and then the word scale. So that's license, number 2, scale.com, and you guys can go tap into there, watch this video. It's so incredible. And if I can just do anything here, it's just opening up the possibility of what comes next, what comes after that course, after that training, after all the assets you've developed. What's the next level of business for you? And this is just a really mind-blowing way.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody here is wanting to scale, or they are a scaling business, and this truly is something that really is the true meaning of scale. And April, I want to close out on one thing, because you said earlier, if it's something you've developed already, but you don't do that, you don't offer that anymore, because you moved, you serve a bigger, different client now. That is something, look at those things, because that would probably be a great opportunity, a great starting point for licensing.
It's like the lowest hanging fruit, man. It's sitting there. It's your genius. You already built it.
That's right.
Let's sell it for $1 million once. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a great day.